Hello, my friend. Welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. This is your host, Jim Cockrum. Today's guest is Jimmy Smith. He and his wife, Brittany, are the Replens king and queen of our community right now. They've got this incredible course that they launched. We've had so many people go through it, so many success stories. If you are sick of scanning barcodes, but you want to find incredible products by retail, these guys have a very healthy seven-figure business finding replens. They're so confident that they can walk into any retail store and walk out with a dozen or more easily profitable products without scanning any barcodes. Guys, this is incredible. Back in episode 208, you first heard from Jimmy. We did an interview with him. We talked about a very inexpensive course that we've launched since then at provenamazoncourse.com/replens, which is a link that'll be in the show notes. Replens is spelled REPLENS, by the way, provenamazoncourse.com/replens. They've taught a whole bunch of people in our community how to do this. But today, they're so confident and so excited about the results they're seeing. They've already trained a couple people in person. They actually flew to their hometown, went to their hometown, spent a couple days with them, helped them launch the business from the ground up, selling on Amazon, finding replens, everything from how to ship it into Amazon, the labels, everything. They walked away with minimum of 50 products that were profitable that they could sell online through Amazon, and showed them how to find as many more as they wanted to. That's an incredible model. So we're super excited to roll that out today. You're going to hear about that. We're going to get an update about how their business is doing. It's about the middle of October 2019 as I'm recording this. So we're going to hear an update on the Q4, which of course is the last 3 months of the year for their business. The numbers these guys are putting up, how automated it is, the fact that they're hiring shoppers like crazy right now, not to go scan barcodes or go find new products to sell. They're hiring shoppers and handing them a shopping list and saying, go buy these items. These are the items we need. It's a very minimum wage type job. And that's the kind of people they're hiring like crazy because they're finding so many great replen products. So if you're not sold yet on this whole concept of replens, hey, go back and listen to episode number 208 and then come back and listen to this episode. And for the right people who are ready to meet Jimmy and Brittany in person and have them handhold you through over the course of 2 or 3 days, walk you through the entire setup process, even if you're completely green, even if you don't have an Amazon account yet, but you're ready to take this serious and you recognize the opportunity, we're ready to do this with you. So we're going to give you information about that today. So I'm going to jump over right now, add Jimmy into this audio video. And before I do that, one last thing. This is one of those episodes that's on YouTube. So if you want to jump over to the show notes today, silentjim.com/podcast, you'll be able to see a link to YouTube. You can watch us hanging out today, talking about this stuff. Not a lot of visuals, just two dudes talking into their microphones. But if you prefer that over just listening, hey, that's an option for you. As always, on many of our shows recently, we've had the audio version and the video version. But hey, let's jump over and meet Mr. Jimmy Smith. He's going to tell us a little bit more about replens, how his business is going, and how excited we are about this concept, especially those of you who might be thinking to yourself, is retail arbitrage dead or dying? We're going to hit that head on today. You're going to love this episode. Let's do it. Hey, Jimmy, welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so last time we talked, man, great story. And we were just starting to get to know each other. But a few things have happened since then. We've had the event. Your business is exploding. You're hiring like crazy. We've launched a course together, man. Life is just moving along at a rapid pace. And I've actually had a chance to meet Brittany now too, which was awesome at an event recently. Because up until then, I don't think we'd ever met. But man, you guys are a powerhouse couple. Fill us in a little bit on what's happened maybe since the last podcast episode in your business.
Oh man, yeah, so much has happened. It's been kind of crazy. So obviously the last podcast episode we did before the course, I believe it was right before or right after it launched. I don't remember exactly when it came out. So did the whole course, which was awesome. And then in our business, we've had some different things happen. And so we've been learning that, we need to hire some more employees and try to get ourselves out of it and just really try to grow it as much as we can while also trying to, do it the right way. So, actually, since the last time, we had a shopper that was doing all of our shopping for us. And so she was working 20, 25 hours a week and had 3 kids, and she just couldn't handle it whenever they went back to school and had activities. So she actually had to quit. So Brittany and I had to go back into shopping, and we recently decided we can't do that anymore. So we're trying to hire a bunch of different shoppers, like 4 or 5 different shoppers, to split up the list into more manageable quantities. So that would also relieve us from, if somebody decided they couldn't do it anymore, we wouldn't have to go back to shopping. So that's
how many products are we talking about at this point?
So we usually have a list each week of 300 or so items, and we rerun the list each week just for one store. And then we've got other stores that we do, 100 items here, 50 items here, and that's just different, like ASINs. That's not units. So we usually do process like 6,000, 7,000 units a week in sales. So that's about how much we're getting out each week too.
Wow.
So
that's
pretty
incredible.
crazy.
Remind me, are you guys operating out of your house, or do you have a warehouse, or how's
we have a warehouse? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we lease a warehouse, and they're all part-time employees, but we've got 5 people there, and just trying to make sure we continue to grow that as well.
So those employees over at the warehouse, are they aware of what it is they're working on, or is it just kind of like an hourly gig for them?
It's an hourly gig, but they do know what we're working on. So we use Inventory Lab for all of our shipments, and so they see all of the profit and the sales value and everything. So they know exactly what we do, and it's been a good setup. We like to separate shoppers and shippers just because it's easier for us to manage that. But yes, for the most part, everybody, even the shoppers, know exactly what we do.
Because one of the reservations I see people have sometimes is they're starting to grow their team, which is what you guys are doing. And kudos, man, because you guys are building an awesome system that's very replicable, which we'll talk about in a minute. But one of the concerns people have sometimes is, okay, I'm going to have these people coming in. They're going to be working for $10 to $15 an hour, whatever we pay. And they're just going to learn and then go steal and compete with me. So I think I'm going to try to do it all myself so I don't have to worry about that. What would you say to someone who's thinking those thoughts?
Well, there's a couple of things that I usually think. First off is just the value of your time, right? Eventually you can't do more than what you're already doing. So that's the most important piece for us, is if we want to grow our business, we don't want to have a job, right? That's why I quit selling insurance, because I didn't want a job. I wanted to have a business. And so there's a necessity there to hire people. The second piece is if people are worried about them taking their business or learning and quitting. We've never had that issue. But if that happened, honestly, if you think about it, there are millions of Amazon sellers. So it's not going to make a huge dip into your business. Second, a lot of employees see the kind of systems you put together, and they probably think, well, I can't compete with these people. So we have that as well. And so there's, obviously it could happen, but it's not very likely.
So you don't do any kind of non-compete?
We actually do have one.
Okay.
But just because, mainly for our shoppers, just because they're getting a list of our product, our shippers and preppers and shippers wouldn't be able to necessarily do much with that.
Yeah, sure.
But the shoppers probably could copy exactly what we give them each week and do that a little bit more. But it's never been a worry of ours. We've got it all on a Google Doc, and it's updated and it changes out. Usually the people that are working for you, especially from $10 to $15 an hour, they just want something to help pay for their kids' activities or to give them some extra money here or there. So that's not a worry of ours.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, let me ask you, come out just a completely different. These are some random questions that come to mind. And again, I want to encourage people to listen to episode 208. I'm sure I probably mentioned it already a couple times in the introduction, which I'll record after this episode's been recorded. Right. But what's your perception of the scope, the scale of this opportunity, Replens specifically? Because you've got a great deal of confidence that you can go pretty much anywhere in the United States and probably around the world, but we haven't expanded that far yet, although we have students around the world, right? But you and your wife hop on a plane, fly anywhere in the US. It's just actually a program we're launching, and teach anybody. I walk into a store, spend some time, not scanning barcodes, but doing research, and walk away with a handful, a few dozen, once you know what you're doing, any given time you want to go do it, of profitable products right off of retail shelves. Okay, so the question becomes, how much opportunity is this? How big is this opportunity from your vantage point? How much have we tapped into this?
Oh, I don't know how much we've tapped into it. It's not much, right? I mean, we're just at the beginning of where this is all going. For us, even, I mean, the reason we can hire more people is because we know that we've only hit like a quarter or 30% of even just Walmart, what's in there. Like we haven't hit the whole thing and we're tapped out of one store. I mean, we do regional stores and all that too, but there's so much opportunity. Products are always cycling in and out. I mean, you're going to find new replens all the time. So I think that it's just the beginning. And I think that this opportunity will continue to get bigger and bigger, even your life cycle with coaching and, all the training you provide, it might switch to a different platform in 5 years, but this opportunity is always going to be there, finding products to resell.
The arbitrage model isn't going anywhere ever. It's one of the oldest business models in the history of the world. Moving a product from a place of low or actual perceived value to a place of high or actual perceived value is about half the businesses on the planet.
Right.
In the Hebrew tradition, it's the soles of the feet and the palms of the hand. You're either using your hand to create, to build, to write.
Yeah.
You're using your creative mind, or you're using your feet to move a product from point A to point B. Those are the only two business models. It's like, okay, right. Which one are we doing here? Well, this is the soles of the feet business model. You're moving it from point A to point B, and low perceived value to higher perceived. And something to keep in mind. I pound this fact home all the time, Jimmy, but it never gets old. Remembering that only 10% of retail is online right now. 90% is offline.
That's crazy.
And those numbers are shooting up. And within 10 to 15 years, it could be 25, 30% online. That's hundreds of billions, probably more like trillions of dollars of new spending online.
Yeah.
We haven't even started to tap into this yet. And Amazon needs and loves third-party sellers. That's us.
Yeah.
We're the ones filling the shelves. And Bezos himself said a few months ago that third-party sellers are better at this than they are. They're scaling back on their buying activities. So the future looks ridiculously bright for this model. So here's a softball question for you. If I was if you were a politician and I was a reporter of the same party, I would ask you this question because it's the easy one. You'll enjoy this one. But is retail arbitrage dead? I've heard rumors. People say, is retail arbitrage dead? Beyond the responses I just gave, what else comes to mind?
Oh my goodness. Obviously, no, it is not dead. I think that it is just beginning. I mean, just the business model itself, like I said, can always evolve to other platforms. But even if you're concerned that retail arbitrage is dead on Amazon, I still think that's just beginning because there will always be more products that are coming out, more products that are getting added to Amazon. And there's going to be different ways for us to add value and to provide that service, whether it's, people are creating bundles that you can put together and sell. We don't create any bundles or listings, but we will get on listings that already are bundled or multi-pack. So there's always going to be opportunity. And there's always going to be a situation where you, like you said, buy low and sell high. It's not dead at all. And I think it's just beginning. And the reason we're hiring more people, to also remove ourselves a little bit more, but because we think it's going to grow and get bigger. Each year it has. So until it starts to not, retail arbitrage is a great business model to at least have in your arsenal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to start too. It's a great beginner, newbie place to start.
Right.
And fill me out. I don't necessarily know the answer to this question. Now, you alluded earlier to the class that we did last podcast episode. There was a class, we put about 1,000 people through that class. A lot of them are reporting back now with incredible results, great businesses. Is this an international thing? If someone lives outside of the United States, are they seeing success with reblend strategies the same way that those of us in the US are seeing?
Yeah, definitely. We do have international sellers, that are using this strategy. There's obviously different, things that come up as far as, if you're international selling in the US, you have to do online arbitrage, or you have to find somebody in the States that can shop for you. So, I mean, there's different things that come up, but there are definitely people in the course that are having great success doing this. And so, yeah, it's been really cool. Even the last couple of days, since it reopened, I've had a couple international sellers message me and say that it's changed their whole model just in 2 days, giving this to their virtual assistants to help them with finding replens. So it's been pretty cool seeing that. Yeah.
And let me give everyone a couple links. Again, as a reminder, you can go to provenamazoncourse.com/replens, REPLENS. That's the course, priced ridiculously lower than it should be.
Right.
And the next part I love, that we're actually, this podcast is kind of launching to the public. A few of our insider folks who have know what's going on really well, who are in the Facebook group from the original course, they already know about this. But 98% of our audience doesn't know what we're about to talk about next. And that is, you and your wife, Brittany, are so confident in your ability to literally hop on an airplane, go to someone's hometown, go shopping with them, help them find replen opportunities right under their nose, show them how to box it and ship it if they want, help them get launched on this. We're so confident. We're saying, hey, have us come to your hometown. We'll show you. We'll sit down right with you and let's do this. Let's go to your office, go to your house. Let's make this happen. Talk us through that a little bit. That was a great idea you brought me about 6 months ago or so ago. And we've shaped it out. We're ready to launch it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. It's something that Brittany and I really enjoy doing. So we had actually done it a couple times with friends that didn't live in St. Louis. So they lived in Kansas City, actually. And it's 2 separate times. They were about a year apart that we did it, before the course ever launched, all of that. And we went out there, and one couple is doing about $10,000 a month, $7,500 to $10,000 a month. And then the other one, within their first 30 days, got to $2,600 in sales. So we know that we can go out there, we can take you to multiple stores, we can help you find replens. So much so that, we're saying, at least right now, the 50 replens whenever we come out there. So I'm excited for that. I know that it works. And what we're also doing is making sure that we can train you on Keepa, train you how to find replens. And even with brand new seller accounts, which a lot of people are worried about because of restrictions or things like that, that's all that we've ever used. So whenever we've done this in the past with brand new seller accounts. So we just want to make sure we can set your business up the right way. So the first day, we're going to do all shopping. It's about 6 to 8 hours of shopping. We'll take you to a bunch of different stores, teach you all the Keepa and everything like that. The second day, we do the prepping and shipping so that we can then help them kind of systematize that process. Because our first shipment, Jim, I didn't tell you this, back in 2015, it took us 13 hours because we messed it up. All of that. We messed it up. We had to redo it. My wife was in tears at one point. So we figured, for a lot of people, I mean, it's a little easier now. It's a little different, but we want to get them set up the right way. Most people, their biggest hurdle is just getting out there and doing it. And so if we can take them out and help them find their own replens, it's not us coming out there and giving them our replens. We're finding ones in their, city, town, whatever, that they can continue to rebuy over and over. So,
and that's an important distinction too. We're not passing out the same 50 shopping list. This is 50 unique replens over the course of, you're going to be in town, start to finish, probably a total of 3 days by the time you fly in and maybe rest up and spend a couple days and fly out.
Yep.
But so if someone's willing to pick up the travel expenses and pay, again, a ridiculously low fee to sit with 2 of our leading experts, I mean, you guys have helped at this point several thousand people in our community learn to understand what replens are, how to find them. But if someone wants that hand-holding experience, we're launching it. It's provenreplentraining.com is the website. It'll be in the show notes at silentgym.com. And you can go to this podcast episode and see it there. And it's not a matter of just going and signing up and paying. We're actually going through the applications and making sure that, there may be someone in the middle of the, mountainous region somewhere with 80 miles to the closest retail store. Yeah. That may not be somewhere you can get in and out of in a couple of days. Although I would argue if you've got internet, you can make money online.
True.
But we've got to make sure that you're a qualified candidate for the Jimmy and Brittany experience so they can get in, do what they got to do and get back out of there reasonably safely and easily with retail nearby. But what are some of those parameters? Like, who is this not for? If you've given any thought to that, so we could maybe eliminate anyone who's thinking, oh, this is for me, but it's really not. What are those parameters? I have a couple that come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different ones. The first one is this is completely retail arbitrage, right? So, I mean, we will be out in the stores for 6 to 8 hours. So, if that's something you don't want to do, yes, these things can transfer from retail arbitrage to online arbitrage. So it's the same thought processes, but this is for people that want to at least start their business retail arbitrage. Second is they need to have enough money. We suggest a minimum of $500 for inventory, because if we're finding 50 or more replens, you're going to need at least $500 and preferably $1,000, so that you can buy that. And if you're paying $1,000 for inventory, hopefully within 30 days you'll be making 2,500 or so in sales, right? That's our goal. Obviously things can change, but that's our goal there. So those are the two biggest ones. The other one is, like you said, location. If somebody does live in the top of a mountain somewhere, if the biggest thing is that they could at least travel and stay into a town that they could shop at with like major stores like Walmart, Target, Dollar Tree, Walgreens, etc. So that's the biggest thing. If they wanted to travel and that they're fine doing that after we're gone, that would be necessary as well. But we're not going to go to
and stay at the same hotel in the closest populated area that's got a lot of good retail.
Exactly. So, but then that would be an extra cost for them for their lodging as well. So, exactly. There's those things that go into it, but those were the ones that come to my mind off the top of my mind. So I don't know if you had any extra ones.
That and people who are ready to take action on what they're about to learn. There is a level of spoon feeding going on here, but once you guys leave, you're going to be doing the work. You're going to be putting the tape on the boxes or hiring someone to do so fairly quickly yourself. It's work. It's work, and we don't want to misrepresent that in any way. But it's very predictable, very stable, and there's just a huge opportunity right now. That website, provenreplentraining.com, if you want to fill out an application, doesn't cost you anything. That doesn't, just because you fill out an application doesn't mean you're going to get in. We're going to actually talk to the people who are interested. We've got a few questions to ask you, make sure it's a good fit. But I think this is going to be really popular. I mean, we even talked about maybe building out a team and having people, because that's how confident we are. And what I love about this, Jimmy, something that pops to my mind is I'm not aware of anyone else out there in any kind of internet marketing, education, training arena at all that says, I'll fly to your house. And, we're not talking tens of thousands of dollars here. We're launching a business that we very well could be charging that. I know of operations that charge $30,000 for a few phone calls and a mentor that you can access online. And it's useless training. And that's in our arena. This is Amazon. They're training Amazon sellers. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
What some people are getting away with, creating these just horrible rip-off scam stories. And here we are saying, hey, you're going to earn your money back very quickly. You're going to leave town with 50 profitable products that you can begin selling on Amazon. I'm going to show you how to box them and ship them. So this is us putting our money where our mouth is. And that's a pretty awesome offer. I love it. So
I'm excited for it.
I'm really excited to see. And you guys are going to be doing some travel. Something that struck me is I asked, I don't know if it was you I asked, I think maybe it was Brittany at the event, because you weren't feeling well. And so I had a chance to meet her. And like, how often do you guys see yourself doing this? What are you guys thinking? You guys are ready to really crank this out, man. Several a month.
Yeah. I mean, right now we don't have kids, so it's the best time for us to do it. We were thinking probably 4 a month is what we're hoping to do. And, that might change up or down a little bit, but that's what we're ready to do now. So we'll book them out as far as we can. And hopefully if there's enough demand, then we would, get a team and make it a little bit, spread the work and, everything, the opportunity around to other people that can also do this and have proven replens businesses, right?
Exactly. Whenever we bring in a coach on our team, we look at their business and make sure that it's doing well. And that's who we hire and bring in as coaches. And that's why we pay them well. Nothing crazy like some of those other ripoff companies that I mentioned earlier.
Right.
I don't know how they get away with it. I don't think they do very long. They're changing their name constantly, getting sued constantly. But we've just got a long track record of success stories. I'm very proud of our record. And And we vetted this thing out. Like I said, it took us about 6 months to, to kind of go from concepts to, okay, let's launch this. It takes some time because we wanted to do it right. But I'm excited to announce it.
Yeah.
And who knows where it's going to go from here. But I'm thinking there's some people right now who are scrambling saying, I want to do this. This sounds great. But for people who are looking at, it's going to be several $1,000s. We're talking about the expenses of travel, the coaching, the tools and resources that you're going to get and as well. But those of you who just want to spend significantly less than that and get exposed to these ideas, I just want to remind people that the course is doing extremely well. Something that stands out to me as a good indicator, Jimmy, is I always look at the refund rate on courses. Now, typically you're going to see in the industry average is between 5 and 10% refund rate. Anytime you roll out a new course or training about how to build a business online, 5 to 10% refund rate is typical. We've got ours down to about 2%.
Oh, wow.
So it's very unusual for a course to stand out as kind of an anomaly when your refund rate's already only 2%. But the refund rate with this Replan course has been like 0.05%.
Oh, wow.
It's just like 0.5%. Like that stands out. Nobody's asking for their money back on this thing because it's
awesome.
Pretty incredible content. It works if you're ready to go do the work. And plus, that's a testament to how ridiculously low we have price points. We could be charging a whole lot more than we are easily and justifying it because we're launching incredible businesses with this stuff. But we love that. We love community. We love the success stories. I know you guys are all in on that community feel. And you'll be the next students of the next great idea, and someone will come along and help your business grow. It's just a cool community to be a part of. But let's talk a little bit. I just want to make sure we're very thorough, that people know like you're actually doing this business. You've got some great numbers. You're not just coming out of the blue teaching this stuff. This is how you guys pay your bills currently. And the teaching thing's kind of an add-on. Share with me some numbers. You guys are getting ready to have a pretty good Q4 you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So I'm excited for Q4. I think this Q4, we're going to break 500,000 just for the Q4 itself, just the way that we've been tracking and everything. Currently this year, it's October 17th, whenever we're recording this. So we've done $900,224 of sales. So, we've had a couple months that, they cycle between $90,000 and $110,000 in sales. And I think with Q4, we're going to have a $200,000 December and $170,000 November. So I'm excited for it. It's been a crazy year, especially looking back where we were last year at this time. So it's pretty cool to see where it can take off when you put in the work and the systems and everything.
And if you guys were to scale up, and let's say you didn't do any of the education side at all, you just scaled up the Replan business, where does your imagination go a year, 2 years out on this?
If we didn't have anything else besides Replans, I know we could double this business in the next year, and probably in 2 years it would be 250, 300,000 a month, I would think, just because there's so much opportunity that we haven't tapped yet. I mean, one of our main store is, probably 50%. And then we've got 3 or 4 other stores, and there's how many hundreds of stores in St. Louis that we could go to. I know in the next year, if we focused just 20 hours a week of us shopping and finding new replans, just me and my wife, we could double it. We don't really shop much anymore. And that's why we're trying to get more and more shoppers so that we can have 2 hours a week of us going out, or one of us going and doing that. So,
and what I love about episode 208, I want to clarify something, make sure people understand that we're not talking, when we say shoppers, we're not telling people to go out and find profitable products. We're giving them a shopping list. We say, go buy these items. Anyone can do that. You don't need a profit share with these. It's a side gig. And it's almost like, and we even, I think, talked about last time a little bit, using the Tackle app. Like, hey, can you go to the store and buy these items for me?
Yeah, right.
Sure. Almost like an Uber or Lyft driver. It's like, no, I don't need you to take me anywhere. I need to go to the store, buy these things, and come back. Just leave the meter running, right? It's almost like it's reduced to that level of simplicity. This system that's been built out. So I just want people to understand that when you say hiring shoppers, we're not talking about people to go find. And we're not talking about scanning barcodes either. This is going to be a little redundant. We've mentioned this before, but you're not sending people off to scan barcodes. They don't need their smartphone at all, right?
Right, exactly.
Go in and buy the products on the list.
Yeah, that's actually the only thing they actually would need their smartphone. We have all of our lists on a Google Doc so that all the shoppers can see what the other shoppers are doing. But yeah, they
Right.
don't need to scan anything. It's just strictly buying off a list. I've even heard of people that, just they're shopping by themselves. They only have a car and they buy so much that they order an Uber for like an SUV to put all the products in and bring it
Yeah.
back to their house. So it's kind of funny what you can do now. Even if you don't
That's
have an SUV, you can order one
phenomenal.
for $40 or something. So
That's great. Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and just with all the automation that's beginning to happen as far as I can very easily see just hiring shoppers
Mhm.
off of an app. I mentioned the Tackle app, but there's other apps out there like, those task apps.
Yeah.
Hey, go to the store, do this, where you don't even have to have necessarily employees. When there's no work, you don't have anyone sitting around, you have anyone waiting for work. Just, hey, here's the items we need to buy. And you can become, and we talked about this last episode too, I think you become national,
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
coast to coast, hire a fleet of these guys. That kind of
Mhm.
stuff is coming.
Yeah.
So when we say we're in the tip of the iceberg, now is the time to be getting into this.
Yeah.
And what would you say? And again, this is kind of ground already covered, but I know this is along the lines of hey, is retail arbitrage dead? But what about the person who says, okay, I've gone to the store, I scanned barcodes, I didn't find any opportunity. What's your elevator pitch to that person? Because I know there's people like that. We hear them. They join our community all the time, and they're looking for, no, I need to get into private label or wholesale because I don't want to do retail arbitrage because I scanned barcodes one Saturday and didn't find anything.
Yeah.
Talk to that person. Now, we've already talked to them quite a bit in this episode, but again, help me through this. What's the reality of what this looks like once you get it rolling?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple things. So if somebody's only ever scanned barcodes, that's how we started initially, right? Forever ago, back in 2015. So if you've only ever scanned barcodes, there are what we call hidden listings, and they are hidden to shoppers or sellers that are just scanning the barcodes, because a lot of the things that we sell might be multi-packs, a 5-pack of one item, or it could be a bundle of like a cup and a straw kind of a thing, or a pack of straws. And so these listings don't have UPC codes that you can necessarily scan and it'll pull up. And so they're hidden to sellers unless you're looking for keywords. So, if I was looking for some sort of a towel set and I was at Walmart, I could look mainstays, whatever towels. So mainstays like World Towels, because they've got pictures of a globe on there or something. And it would pull up listings that would match that description. And so if you're just scanning a UPC and there's a pack of 5 of those towels on Amazon, it's not going to pull that up. And so that's generally why you need to try and type in those different ways that you would try to find the item if you were going to buy it, essentially. Because nobody at home
a lot of people who are creating these very profitable bundles are using their own UPC.
Yeah.
So it's not going to show up.
Right.
If you just
and even
scan
sometimes it's a single pack. Shocking enough that people just use a GTIN exemption and they don't have to put a UPC or whatever it might be. They put a wrong UPC. So, there's a lot of opportunity out there for that. Yeah. And so that's the biggest thing, is just try to type in how you would be trying to find it, because realistically you would never say, hey, honey, can you type in 05678, type in this UPC to find it on Amazon. No, they're going to say, hey, can you type in, Mainstays globe towels, because that's what they're looking for. That's the product they want. And ultimately that's the best way to find it, whether you're a buyer or a seller.
Great example. Yeah. So if you're not wanting to go scan barcodes, this is still definitely for you. Just because we said retail, don't be scared.
Yeah.
There is so much opportunity out there.
Mm-hmm.
This opportunity really should be, I'm talking about the proven replen training where you guys hop on a plane. This should be, and it very well may be at some point in the near future, a $15,000 to $20,000 opportunity. It really legitimately should be at that price, but we're not charging anywhere near that, as you'll see if you go check it out.
Yeah.
It's an incredible opportunity, man. And I vouch for it. I've met you guys. I've seen this in practice. I've got my team studying this stuff and doing it. It works, man. This replen stuff is legit. So, and you guys are going to be at, I don't know if you've made plans yet, the Proven Conference in 2020. Have you guys circled that date on your calendar yet?
It is on my calendar. So
Awesome.
we're planning on being there. So.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I know that's quite a ways off, but the Proven Conference, you guys did a great job for us at this last one, presenting and training, and just some up and coming leaders. I was excited to get you guys back on the podcast. it just blows my mind. I think there's, and one little message I want to squeeze in here is the opportunity that exists for listeners to this podcast and members of our community. Take a strategy, combine it maybe with another strategy in our group, combine it with your own creativity, come up with a new and unique way to do things, and help us improve, find a gap. And that's what Jimmy and Brittany have done. They found a gap. They're serving well. They've created more than enough proof. We love that word, proven. That's why we use that word every day. It's like, hey, you bring us a great idea. That's cool. But it has to not just work for you, but you got to show a handful of other great people in our community how it works kind of quietly, if it works for them too. Now we've got a consensus. We've got some proof. We can start to roll it out a little bigger, do an online class. It works. And then you came to us with this creative idea. And here we are. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar idea, not just for you guys, but for those people in our community who are really ready to take action.
Right.
It's just incredible. This stuff just works if you're ready to do the work. So congratulations to you. Hopefully that's a challenge that the right people are hearing today. It's like, hey, step up. We need leaders. We need great creative thinkers and leaders. Step in, fill those gaps. The doors are wide open, right? So I can't wait for you guys to hop on a plane and start doing this. I know you've already done it a couple times for friends from the past, which I think that's a beautiful, because one of the first things I said to you, Jimmy, was, hey, you're going to have to do this a few times. Like, we already did it twice for friends. Really? Like, here's the numbers. That was pretty incredible. So we know this thing works. Well, any other closing thoughts before we wrap this one up, man?
Nothing major. I mean, the biggest things for me is, it's really easy, whether being in any Amazon selling community, you see all of these opportunities. And I think ultimately the best thing for anybody to do is pick one that interests them the most and bolt that down, right? Don't jump from one thing to another. So if wholesale interests you or private label interests you, but you hear about this replen strategy, I personally suggest doing private label or wholesale or whatever it is that you want to do, more than just like, oh, I can make an extra $500. Now, if replens is what is, encouraging to you, then just focus on that until you can bolt it down and try doing other things. So that's personally my the biggest takeaway in any community, because we've made that mistake, right? Where we try 1,000 different things and nothing grows. We stay stagnant or whatever. So just try and focus on the one thing that excites you, that you can see opportunity in, bolt that down, and then you can move on from there. So
bolting versus bouncing is what we say around here. I think Brett's father-in-law was the first one to drop that thinking process, and it's become terminology pretty common in our community, bolting versus bouncing, because you can find yourself bouncing from one thing to the next, and you're thinking, multiple income streams means, I'm very distracted doing 1,000 things every day. No, you've got to bolt down one stream at a time. And you guys are doing that great. You're hiring your shoppers. You've got a system. You're able to fly now. So you've bolted down the replens business. You're about to bolt down this whole travel, educate, and train thing. And I would encourage people, get in early, because at some point, it's going to be Jimmy and Brittany managing a team of people doing this. With all these success stories. You guys are going to be too busy to actually hop on a plane. You're going to be managing a team of people, training them, keeping them cutting edge.
Right.
So those days are coming. The price will probably go up. I mean, so now's the time to jump in on this. As with all of our programs, man, you get to work with the coach if you jump in early, but eventually we can't afford the coach anymore.
Right.
And I used to do all the coaching at Jim Cockrum Coaching. I haven't coached anybody in 8 years.
Wow.
From Jim Cockrum Coaching, because I don't have the time. I have people who are actually arguably way better qualified than I am, because they've just come through it as a newbie themselves. It's been 15 years since anyone could have called me a newbie putting a business together, selling product online.
Right.
You grow too far away from the process, it seems like. And that's leadership in a business, man. You're always removing yourself further and further and further away from that original success, just because you're managing success. And that's the growth track that I'm on for sure, that you'll be on as well. So I say all that to say, provenreplentraining.com. Jump over there now if you want to work with Jimmy and Brittany, because a year from now, I'm just predicting you guys are going to have a hard time justifying spending time jumping on a plane doing this. Probably still have a team doing it. Super excited to see where this goes, man.
Yeah, me too.
But it's been great hanging out with you a little bit. Say hey to Brittany. Love to get on here sometime. I guess she's the quieter of the two, but doesn't necessarily like jumping on here. But maybe next time we'll have both of you on, and appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to see what happens. So appreciate everything.
Sounds great. Well, we'll talk to you soon. And for the listeners hanging out with us today, thanks for giving us some of your most valuable asset, your time that you shared with us today. We value that. I know that's very meaningful. There's a lot of other things you could have been doing, but you hung out with us today. We really do appreciate that. And from Jimmy and Brittany and the whole team and I, we say, God bless all the business building warriors out there. We're in your corner. We're rooting for you. We're here to help you in any way we can. Hey, if you're not in our Facebook group yet, jump in there. There's a link in the show notes for that as well. We stand by you, stand with you. Let's keep building something awesome together. God bless you until we do another episode. Talk to you then.